Welcome back to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. I want to talk about money and visibility today, but not in the way that it's usually talked about. Not strategy, not mindset, what's actually happening in the nervous system when we say we want more and then we stall, we freeze, or we disappear, or we hide. And this episode is not about pushing, it's about understanding what's actually happening in the body. So much of the time we're constantly craving, we're wanting more clients, we're wanting more money, we're wanting more visibility, we feel so excited, we get all of this energy, we get all of these things worked up, we want it, we want it, we want it. We do the positive affirmations, we do the visualizing, we do the manifesting, we do the journaling, everything. We're like, it's working, this is what everybody does to create money. We call it in, and then it starts coming in like little trickles. We're like, okay, this is working, and then it fucking stops. Or you're handed like a client out of nowhere and you freeze and you let it drop, or you're like, I can't hold this. Our nervous system is so used to safety. It's so used to a regular base energy of normalcy. So when we call in large amounts of money that we have never received before, our nervous system freezes. Our body freaks the fuck out. And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. First and foremost, I want to say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. When you are acclimated to a certain frequency of income, of money, of abundance, you have to learn to expand your capacity to hold more. But we can't expand our capacity until we learn to feel safe in our body. So we're always calling in more. We're calling in more clients. We're calling in the raise from work. We're calling in more abundance. We're calling in more whatever it is, whatever way you call in money, and it starts to trickle in slowly, or it doesn't come in at all. And the reason that I'm finding with all of my clients, even myself included, is that we reach this threshold. We reach this threshold of what we feel safe enough to receive. Because when our nervous system doesn't feel safe, it's going to block everything that doesn't feel safe. So we ask ourselves, when we're in this space of awareness, when we're in this space of, okay, I'm calling in these things, it's not coming, or I'm calling in these things, I'm getting a little bit, and it keeps on falling away. What is happening here? We don't feel safe. So, how do we teach ourselves to feel safe in our body, receiving that abundance, receiving that love? And I had an awareness this morning around calling in energies. So I am very good about calling in relationships, calling in friendships, calling in love, calling in companionship, mentor, support. I'm really good at calling in that for myself. But calling in and holding money has been something that I've struggled with for a very long time. I've had very large influxes of money. I've had 4-figure months, I've had 5-figure months, I've had 0-figure months. And it's this ebb and flow of recognizing where in my body I feel safe. I did. I created 5-figure months in my business for 6 months. I held it sustainably for 6 months, and then my world fell away because my nervous system did not feel safe holding that. I knew that or I did not know, I thought that to have that amount of money, it was going to be taken from me. And do you know what happened after that? My ex husband took it. He took the money that I created in my business. I had this lingering fear that every time I created money, it was taken from me. Every time I created money in my business, a huge bill would come up, or a car problem would happen, or my kids would need something, or all these things, or I'd have expenses to pay. Every single time I created that, my nervous system was trained to say, when we get money, we lose it quickly. When we get money, somebody's going to take it. When we get money, we have to pay more in taxes. When we get money, we have to do all this. So my nervous system is acclimated to this level of money comes in, but it's taken from us instantly. Money comes in and we can't hold it. Money comes in or it just doesn't come in because we block it because we would rather not have it. As humans, we would rather stay in the discomfort of what we know than be in the discomfort of what we don't know. So we are acclimated to, for me, myself specifically, it was easier for me to not have money than to get money and have it taken from me. Because my nervous system felt safer staying where we knew because we know how to live here. We know how to live in lower income. We know how to live when we're making ends meet. We know how, because we've been doing that our entire lives. So I was in this place of only receiving exactly when I can go back months. Like the money that I received was the exact amount that I put out. I was breaking even every month and money always showed up. I was always taken care of. And that's the thing I want to talk about too. Just briefly, side note, sidebar, whatever. You are always going to be taken care of. Money always takes care of you. The universe always takes care of you. You are always taken care of. If that was not true, then you would not be here listening to this podcast right now. You wouldn't be, because I mean, money did not take care of you. You've died, blah, 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 blah. So you're always being taken care of. So I was having these awarenesses around, okay, I'm only receiving the amount that I'm putting out. I'm only receiving the bare minimum. How do I stretch that? How do I do that? And then I would have income taken away, and then that same amount of income would come in a different source. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I was very curious about it. For like a year and a half, I've been very curious about watching how money moves within my system. Again, I am extremely good about calling in relationships, partners, love, friendship, clients, likability, visibility. I'm a very visible, very authentic human being in that one. And my biggest thing is I feel safe in those situations. I feel safe to be seen in friendships, which is a very brand new thing, but that's a whole other topic. I feel safe in relationships. I feel safe with friends. I feel safe online. I feel safe being visible. I feel safe having that clients coming in my world in a, I don't want to say leader position because that's not what I am, but I feel safe in this position of being authoritative in this field. I have a very high confidence level in these things. I have very high confidence in relationships. I have very high confidence in my body and how I feel in my body. Again, these are things that I worked on for a very long time. This is not things I were born with. I was not a confident person a couple of years ago, but I've worked on these things, so I feel safe receiving those things in my life. I'm really good about receiving gifts. Like ungodly, it is wild. I'm like, I will speak something into existence and like somebody will give it to me. Or I'm like, I'm open to receive. And people like buy me coffee. They'll buy me these shoes. They'll buy me concert tickets. Like all of these things. I'm really good about receiving that. I said, so what is it that I don't feel safe enough receiving money through my business, but I feel safe enough receiving all these other things? My nervous system doesn't feel safe because every single time that I've created money for myself, it was taken from me from the time that I was younger. From the first time I had my job, every time I had money come in, I had a job when I was 11 years old. I've been working since I was 11 years old. Money was taken from me in some form or another. And then I was in abusive relationships where money was taken from me. And then I wasn't allowed to work. So I had financial abuse on that level. So I've had these stories of all of these abusive situations. So my nervous system was literally trained to money is bad. When you receive money, it is taken from you. So we're not going to receive money. And now we're going to move on to the visibility piece of this, where as entrepreneurs, as whatever it is, if you work in a job, if you do these things, we get these bouts of excitement. Okay, I'm going to make money. I'm manifesting all these things. I'm really working on all these things. We try and make money. We get really excited. The clients start coming in, then we fucking freeze. We freeze because again, this is something I've worked on very consistently and I'm really good at recognizing it. I was calling in more money and then I had two clients drop into my field and I instantly went into like, can I do this? Can I hold this? And I'm at this place of awareness where I'm like, okay, where in my body do I feel that I'm not comfortable receiving money from clients? Where in my body do I feel like I can't hold these clients? And I was very grateful for the people in my world. I'm very grateful for the work that I do and the nervous system regulation and the people that can hold me, because we all need people to hold. We all need people to hold us, even if we're healers and teachers and oracles and all these things. We all need these people. And it was reflected back to me that it was a lot of doubt creeped in. I was blocking money coming in, and in place of that, their excuse was, I can't hold these people. And my friend was like, bitch, what do you mean you can't hold people? You hold me every single fucking day. You hold a lot of high level clients. This is what you are born to do, is hold high level clients at a so their nervous system can expand even deeper. Your job is to hold people from the spiritual realm, bring them back into their body, expand their capacity so that they can take it all. What do you mean you can't hold them? And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's actually a bullshit. It was my nervous system telling my body and telling my brain that we can't have these nice things. Because if we have these nice things, they're going to be taken from us. So I'm very grateful for the tools to be able to recognize that, have that awareness of, oh shit, I'm in nervous system freeze right now. My body instantly went to freeze. So we get these excited. We get excited about clients. We get excited about the offer we're putting out. We make this offer like, this is amazing. This is incredible. It's going to make so much money. And then nothing. Nada. Crickets. And we're like, the fuck just happened? Or you go and you're like, I'm going to get this raise. I'm going to do all these things. And your boss is like, nothing. Zero. Not picking up what you're putting down. Like, not understanding. So then instead of pushing through that barrier, expanding our capacity, we shut down. It's not meant for me. I can't have it. It's not safe. It's not worth it. I'm never going to have that. I was delusional for thinking that. That is absolutely crazy that I was going to have, like, blah, 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 goes all these things. Or if you have clients, you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to post these things. And then, like, you're not showing up. You're not showing up online. You're not showing up and posting your offer. You're not talking to clients. You're not doing these things. It's because we internalize our fears. Our nervous system is trying to protect us. So it goes into, we can't have it. Do you know that I have been trying to record this podcast for 2 days? 2 days. It is almost noon. I was supposed to record it this morning. I have been procrastinating all day because my nervous system is like, you are not worthy enough to talk about this. I'm saying this to explain to you that even though I talk about these things, I am still internalizing and working on these things. It's a different level. I've reached this different level of nervous system, visibility, awareness, all these things. And I had a lot of self-doubt come up of, you are not worthy enough to teach on this subject. And then the other part of me is like, the fuck, why not? This is literally what we've been through our entire lives. We've taught on money so many times. We have created 5-figure months. We have created sustainability. We have been able to financially provide for our children as a single mother of 3 in a household, maintaining everything by ourselves, and build a business with zero support from anybody else. What do you mean you can't teach on this? What do you mean you can't talk about nervous system regulation when that's how you survive every single day? Not survive, thrive. What do you mean that you don't feel like you're... So it's like this internal thing, but I was procrastinating because my nervous system didn't feel safe enough to receive the amount of responses that are coming from this energetic transmission. Because that's the podcast, energetic transmission, you're in my world, blah, 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 all these amazing energetic wordy things. So we have to learn to understand that every single time things aren't coming in, it's usually a mismatch of our nervous system. But once we learn to regulate ourselves, once we learn to feel safe in ourselves, once we learn to expand within our truth, we can call in more. And it's so interesting because the foundation of the work that I do is safety, building the safety in your body, building the safety within yourself to expand your capacity and then step into your power. But it's also so intertwined because you can build the capacity to feel safety to step into your power. You can have the power to build your capacity to step into your safety. So it's like a very intertwined, beautiful magic pillar of all of these amazing things that we do when you work with me. And the other thing I want to talk about too is this misalignment on what other coaches say. And I'm not bashing other coaches. What works for them may work for them, but it doesn't work for somebody who lives in a nervous system fight or flight. And a lot of those things are, you have to be posting consistently. You have to be showing up all the time. You have to hustle, 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 work 24/7, work when before the kids wake up, work after the kids wake up. You're working, you're posting, you're doing all these things. You have to build these sales pages, build these websites, build these things, build this stuff, but make sure everything is edited to a T. You have to use these hooks, you have to use these reels, you have to follow this algorithm, you have to do all these things. And it's like this creating this busyness of fucking chaos. So then what happens? We go back into freeze because this is so many different pieces, parts of the puzzle. And again, I fall victim to this as well. I'm really good about recognizing it within myself and be like, oh, hold up. No, thank you. But we create these stories because this is what is being told around us. If you want to go viral, you have to post 6 times a day. If you want to make sure that your audience sees you, you need to make sure you're doing carousel posts. You need to make sure you're doing reels. You have to post on YouTube. You have to post on TikTok. You have to post on Instagram. You have to post on all these different things. You have to have static posts. You have to have reels with no talking. You have to have reels with talking. You have to have full long form videos. You have to have a podcast. You have to have blah, 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 blah. You have to write a book. You have to, like, all these things. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? And we as spiritual human beings, we as oracles, we as victims of abuse, all these things, our nervous system is only expanded to a certain capacity. We are only in this safe place. And we can't go from here to here in a very short amount of time. If you're listening, it's like a tiny little ball fist and then my arms out to wide. We can't, that will instantly send us into collapse. Instantly. Where if we try going from 0 to 60 in a day, I'm going to go from not posting anything to posting on every single platform everywhere, making hours worth of content, hustling, doing all these things everywhere, emails, all this shit, everything. Our body goes, floop, and it completely closes and it says, nope, just kidding. We're going to do all that in one day, then we're going to fucking disappear. You're going to fucking disappear because your nervous system can't hold that because you've never trained yourself to hold that level of visibility, of level that of abundance, level of notability, no level of anything. And you may have been able to do it slowly. And I do believe that is why I'm really good about being visible online and calling in relationships, friendships, all these things is because I did it very steadily. I did not go from 0 to 60 on one day. I started online, selling clothes online. I went live all the time, built a I don't want to say fan base, but built a following. And then I translated that into the work that I'm doing. It wasn't overnight. Creating that following was not overnight. I'm now in rebuilding stages because I'm not the same person that I was. I lost a lot of people during the divorce, and that's okay. They were not meant to be in my world, and I'm okay with that. We're releasing that. But I created these stories that I had to re expand in all these different directions. And my nervous system went bloop. How many times did I show up over the past 2 years and be like, I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. And then my body's like, just kidding. We said we're going to do that. Now we're not going to do that. Because that's scary. Because we don't know how to do that anymore. Because we don't feel safe at the level that we felt safe before. Because we were vulnerable and open before we got hurt. So expanding your capacity to visibility. How can we do this? How can we do this in small steps? A, learning to regulate your nervous system when you're calling something in. So example, you're sitting in meditation or you're sitting in wherever you're sitting and you get a download for a business idea. I'm using this specifically for spiritual entrepreneurs. If you are not a spiritual entrepreneur, adjust this to the things that you do. And you're like, okay, this is amazing. I desperately need money. This sounds like a brilliant idea. You get so excited. You start, getting all the information down. You start writing all the information out. You figure out how much it's going to cost. You figure out the timeline. You figure out the name. You figure out all these things. And then you start like creating the graphics and you start, writing all the content for it. And then this is like all in one day, by the way. And then the next day, it's dead. You're like, I don't feel that anymore. I was really excited about it. Now it sounds really fucking dumb. Or you post about it because you get so excited about it. You have all these ideas. You're like, yes, 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 I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna launch this thing. I'm gonna do this thing. You put it out there to the world and nothing. Or you put it out in the world and then you just fucking disappear. You're like, okay, cool. Now everybody's gonna come to me. You like, it's like, I keep on going back to this analogy and I don't know why. It's like you're driving and you make this incredible, beautiful store and it's like this is my dream someday. So it's like this beautiful coffee shop. It's a bookstore. There's like spiritual alchemy stuff in there. Super cozy. It's in like this cabin in the middle of the woods. And then you open it, you do all this hard work, and it feels so alive. And you're like, yes, this is my entire life's work. I'm going to make so much money off of this. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do all these things, whatever. And you never post a sign. And you're like, why is nobody coming? Why is nobody showing up? It's because somewhere along the line, along the excitement, you didn't feel safe enough or you don't feel worthy enough to claim the things that you want to claim. So you never made the sign. You never put up flyers. You never had directions to this beautiful cabin bookstore coffee shop in the middle of the woods that could literally change people's lives. But your nervous system didn't feel safe enough to do that. Because every single time you were visible, maybe you built something before, you built this beautiful business before, you put this amazing offer out there, and it was your heart and soul and your life's work, and then nobody bought it. So your nervous system says, well, we've done it before, didn't fucking work, so why are we going to try again? So we energetically have this alignment to the offers we put out, to our clients, to our friends, to our family, to our employers, to everything that we are not worthy enough to receive because we don't feel safe enough. So we're constantly self-sabotaging. We're constantly breaking down that muscle that we worked so hard to train, which is that when we learn to feel safe in our body, we can expand our capacity and we can call in more power. And I love this analogy because it really is that simple. Once you learn to feel safe, you get to expand your capacity. It's like, I don't know why they're showing me this right now. So you want to go cliff diving. I don't cliff diving. What does that mean? Like bungee jumping. Bungee jumping, is that what it? Yeah, bungee jumping. And you're like, yes, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be so much fun. And you get there and you don't have a bungee cord. You're not gonna just jump off into the thing. I mean, you could, but it's not gonna end well. You need that safety. You need that harness. So then when you have that safety, you have that harness built in, you're like, okay, I know that when I jump off this thing, for the most part, I'm not going to die. But when we try and do these things in our life, that is what's happening in our body. It's like we're going to the bridge and we're jumping off without that harness. And that is why building safety in the body is so important. So we stretch it. We learn to stretch that capacity. We learn to stretch that safety. So before we create the offer, we tap into our body. Where do I feel safe? Does this feel, first of all, does it feel alive? And that's a whole other concept. Do I feel safe enough receiving this? Or maybe another thing that's coming through is you have this offer and you're charging too much. And that too much is creating that dissonance where we are not going to receive it. So if you say, I have this amazing offer and I know what, fuck it, I'm worth it. I'm going to charge $10,000 for this hour of work. Your body's like, the fuck we're not. No, we're not. We've never received $10,000 in hours of worth. And I'm not saying you're worth it. I'm not saying you're worth it in any way, shape, or form. Like, obviously you're fucking worth $10,000 in an hour. But when our body doesn't feel safe enough receiving that, we're going to block it intentionally. Nobody's going to come in. It's going to be out in the energetic world of, I don't feel safe enough. Nobody come sign up for this. Nobody do it. But when we challenge that and say, okay, maybe $10,000 is too much. Maybe we're going to charge $9,000. Nope, still doesn't feel safe enough. Learning to tap into your body is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to receiving money. And it is fucking magical delicious. And if you want to work more on that, I do have one-on-one containers where we do work deeply on these type of things, expanding your capacity to receive money of that quantity. So you're going to these things and you're going back, like, hey, maybe I can charge $5 an hour. Fuck that. I'm not charging $5 an hour for my work. So you find that middle ground. And that's a really, really powerful tool to use. The same thing with visibility. If you're like, I don't want to do long form videos, I don't want to do reels where I'm talking. Maybe you start off by doing reels where you're not talking. Maybe you start off by doing some more carousel posts or you doing something, but start to show up. You have to learn to stretch that muscle to build that strength within yourself of showing up. And once you do it in baby steps, once you start teaching yourself that you are safe to do these things, your body starts to trust you, and then you can expand your capacity that way. So you do like little things. Again, you're not going to go into the gym if you've never lifted weights before and go pick up and start bench pressing 300 pounds. Like, I mean, if you can do that, fucking go you. I cannot. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt yourself really badly. But you can go into the gym and you can start bench pressing 50. And then you can stretch it to 60 and then 75 and then 100 eventually. But you start off slowly and build that strength within yourself to your capacity. Like literally, you have to teach your body that you're safe when you're lifting weights, and you have to literally build the muscle so that you can lift more. And then you're fucking powerful badass. So talk about that beautiful analogy. But that's the same thing we do in every single thing we do. The same thing with money, the same thing with our relationships, the same thing with our business, the same thing with visibility, the same thing with all these things. I want to end this by saying a couple of things. Your adrenaline excitement does not equal your capacity. Intensity does not equal safety. And discipline does not equal regulation. When we go at these things expecting that if we just push and push and push, we're going to have results, you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to do more damage than good. When you tell yourself, if I just discipline, if I just wake up at this time, if I just do this consistently and I have this hour and blah, 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 that is not going to create the regulated safety within your body. I really just want to end this with saying, like, your nervous system knows what you feel safe enough holding. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just learning to really stretch and feel safe in your body. If we don't feel safe, we're not going to have the results that we want. Again, there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You don't need to fix anything. This is truly about learning to feel the safety within yourself. Because visibility is very vulnerable. Money is very vulnerable. And when you combine the two, especially in the online world, it creates this collapse within ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's time to feel safe. It's time to do that work. And if you want to explore this work more deeply, I do private work inside Reclamation, which is my incredible, beautiful one-on-one container. And if you want a softer community-based way to start connection, Unlocked is going to be opening really soon. I'm going to put all the links in the show notes below. Unlocked is a beautiful membership where there's space to come as you are, to be in my world in a beautiful way, and just show up and receive the medicine of community and love. And again, Reclamation is very deep very powerful one-on-one containers where we dive deep into all this. And I teach you how to hold yourself at a beautiful level, and I hold you deeply so that you can expand into your highest timeline now. That is for the women who are like ready to just move it all. And I love you. I'm so grateful for you. I am so incredibly proud of you for showing up, doing the work, and doing everything that feels really hard. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of everything that you've ever wanted. I'll see you next time.